Welcome to the conversation part of the Upper Bowl podcast. We have from Apollo Media Houston. He's the host of Clean Sheet of Ice podcast. They can be seen on YouTube and all podcast platforms. He is the host of the Apollo Media NBA show, Apollo Media MLB show, also the football show they have. He also was doing a lot of live streams with Savannah Humoller and is co-host as well for Olympic USA hockey games. I'd like to welcome to the Upper Bowl podcast, Stone Strankman. Stone, how we doing? And I got to ask, who's the top 5 Stone of all time, would you say?
We're doing well. First off, I think Stone Phillips owns the title.
Okay.
Just news anchor, Dateline, NBC. I think that's where my name came from, being from Dallas, Texas. He was a Dallas guy, local dude here. So I think he gets the number one look there, but Stone Cold Steve Austin is right there as well.
I think 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
I think I'd say, and I'll throw in Mark Stone at least, maybe as a fifth if he's not on injured reserve at least.
I think he's at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, we can say that.
As a Stars fan.
Yeah. As a hockey guy who gets injured, and he has worse injuries, just like Kyle Tucker when he was playing for Chicago Cubs. Sure. It doesn't matter if it's a finger injury or if his legs are brittle as well. So,
well, yeah, Kyle Tucker's leg got amputated a couple years ago. People forget.
People did forget about that. Are we sure it's prosthetic or not? That's the main question.
I have no idea.
All right, Apollo Media. Tell me how it got started. Is it like Barstool almost? I like to say, because I feel like I check out your stuff. You guys are really entertaining. I like to say.
Yeah. So Des and Josh, the original co-founders of Apollo Media, I kind of came in later in 2020 and then came into the kind of leadership role in 2022. But in 2020, right after the cheating scandal happens for the Astros, Des and Josh were looking at it and were like, hey, we don't have any coverage for the Astros. By Astros people, by Houston people. There's no objective stuff going around, or there's no stuff for Houston people right now. Everyone was dogging on the Astros. They wanted to make something by the fan for the fan.
Yeah.
That was kind of the idea. And they started like late February of 2020. Obviously, like 2.5, 3 weeks later, you have COVID starting. So sick time to start a sports media company. But the boys created a rally cry, H-Town versus everyone, put it on an orange T-shirt, has it right on the front. And Lance McCullers, Carlos Correa, some guys that are on the Astros, some legends in Astros history, obviously World Series champs. They grabbed onto the shirt, they saw it, and they're like, hey, we need like 40 of these before we go to spring training tomorrow in like June. And they're like, okay. So they ran across the city of Houston, bought a bunch of these shirts, made sure they delivered it over to Lance's house, I think, right before they left for spring training that year. And that's kind of how they took off. And they just wanted to be by the fan, for the fan. We're all Houston all the time is how we kind of do it. And then I kind of came in and started shaking some shit up, I guess. And I've added the Stars last season with Clean Sheet of Ice, obviously. We're doing the NBA show. We have Play Action Takes, our NFL show. We've got all kinds of stuff going around. But it's a Houston integrated company where we focus on Houston, but now we've got all kinds of stuff. We've got F1. We've got Beyond the Post, which is our soccer show, which they talk about everything across the world soccer-wise.
That's awesome.
We're doing all kinds of stuff, but all over social media at Apollo HOU, if you want to see our social medias. And then obviously you got YouTube and all the different shows across our YouTube channels and podcast platforms and all the things. So shout out to everyone that's been contributing and helping out with Apollo over the years. They've helped it grow, and I think I have a small part of doing that as well.
Hey, someone's going to start. Someone's going to be on the ground floor. Got to come at the wrong time, but actually gave a good time anyways.
Yeah, it was fun.
Definitely. How does media group stand out differently from everybody? You said it's always fans for everybody. You know, would you say that's the main?
Yeah, by the fan, for the fan. So we kind of have a weird angle now. So like obviously they're talking to Lance and Carlos like year one, Astros players, and like getting to Astros players, and at that time was kind of tough. They had just won a World Series in 2017. They go to the ALCS every year. They go to the World Series every year. Like you have all these things happening. So like getting to those guys was pretty difficult. They were number one in Houston all the time. Like they did something that grabbed onto the players and kind of go from there. So we have a little bit of insight. So like there's a little bit of that journalistic kind of thing where we kind of know things, but we never put things out. So we're never breaking news. We're never being the first ones to put that out or anything. Yeah. But we have that kind of knowledge where we can drop things in on a podcast. So we kind of like to look at it as a fan perspective with knowledge that other fans wouldn't have. So we kind of collaborate that into our podcasts, our shows, our live streams, all that kind of stuff where we're giving out nuggets a little bit, but we're not Shams, we're not Woj, we're not Jeff Passan. We're not throwing stuff out there that we already knew was true or we already knew was happening. But we don't ever put it out there because we don't want to burn the sources. We kind of just want it for ourselves. And we just put it in the group chats, and the boys have a lot of fun with that. And we MLB trade deadline goes, and Des has all those sources and all those people in the Astros organization where he's getting some nuggets. He'll throw it in the group chat, or he'll throw it in some private group chats with people that he knows won't leak it. So we've got a little bit of everything at Apollo where we're going to have fun. We're going to get passionate. We are fans of the teams at the end of the day. So if we're going to call people out, we'll call people out. But we always just say, hey, don't say anything on the pod that you're never going to say to the face of a player. So
if you want to say it, just do it anyways. That's what I've kind of learned. Like, I'll say it. Come on.
Yeah, no, and I think that's gone really well. Obviously, I'm a media credentialed member for the Dallas Stars. So, like, I'm in the locker room every day whenever I want to go to practice or road games, home games, all that kind of stuff. So talking to those guys, I'm just looking at them like, look, they're human too. So, like, if you want to dog them, you can dog them, but make sure you're able to say it to his face too. So that's kind of how I look at it. So we have fun with it, but we save face a little bit on our pods.
For sure, you got to, anyways. How did Clean Sheet Advice start up, anyways? Whose idea was that? Was that your idea? Was it Savannah's idea, or was it your co-host's ideas?
So it was my idea. I had been writing blogs for a couple of years, I guess, on ApolloHOU.com, just because it's Texas hockey. So Houston doesn't have a hockey team yet. That's coming here by the end of the decade. They will have a Houston team in the NHL, which is going to be really fun for us to cover because it'll be a hometown team and all that kind of stuff. And then we get a rivalry going, which will be fun.
Yeah, I feel like it's been overdue anyways. When you look at like expansion for hockey, it's like, what's next? It's like, you got to do Houston. You got to do, I always say you have to go back to Phoenix because I feel like you abandoned a fan base anyways.
Sure.
I think Phoenix and Houston would be perfect. I don't want to see Atlanta again because we've seen, I don't want to, I know, which I'm going to hate is like, I don't want it. I don't want it anyways. It's like a third team. Like, how is this team going to be different than the first two anyways? Like, come on.
So, it was my idea at the beginning of last season. I was like, I really want to do this. I worked with Josh, one of our co-founders. He's kind of what makes Apollo go behind the scenes with the graphics and video and all that kind of stuff. But worked with him, created a logo, created a name and everything, kind of had it ready. And I was just like, I need a co-host. I can't do this by myself.
Yep.
So we did a round of prospects is what we call them, Apollo Prospect Program.
Nice.
So like minor leaguers, basically, we're bringing them in as interns. They're kind of either creative people or they're behind the scenes people, that kind of stuff. We interviewed this kid named Dom Garcia, who's my co-host on Clean Sheet Advice, and he was talking about hockey. I was like, we'll just hire the kid, like bring him in. We'll test him out, see how it goes. And if it's shit, then we kill the podcast and it's fine, whatever. But we did about a year's worth of that. And then me and Savannah were talking at morning skate one day. She's like, I want to do more. And I was like, you just want to come on the podcast whenever you want? And she's like, yeah, let's do it. So she's in on Fridays. She does the game previews for us that we put out on social, on YouTube. And she's got a lot more stuff up her sleeve too. So she's full in the fold on Clean Sheet Advice, but it's me, Dom, and Savannah there on camera. And then we got our guy, Luke Powell, who runs the socials for us on Twitter and Instagram. Nice.
Savannah, I would say, is a great addition to anyone's show. Anyways, we have her on. We have her on occasionally. We've had her on twice. Anyways, I told her, like, I'm not going to hold you to hockey. I'm gonna have you, like, you know, your stuff anyways. Like, come on, you know, like, you know your football, you know your hockey. We'll take it anyways.
She's awesome, and it's awesome to have someone that's way smarter than us in the room too.
Yes.
Getting her on the pod, you get much more intelligent talk out of her than you would out of me and Dom. But we got all facets. You got the true journalist, you got the halfway journalist, halfway fan, and then you got Dom, who's just a full-on fan, who's not in the building. So he sees it just on TV and calls it as it is.
Yeah.
And then we get a little mix of everything. So I think that's what's making Clean Sheet Advice work.
Well, I truly enjoyed you guys during the Olympic streams anyways, because it's like, no one's doing it. I thought about doing it anyways. I just didn't have time because my work schedule's ridiculous, and you guys are doing it. I was like, well, shit, anyways. Yeah. Someone's doing it before. So I will say this. I give you guys a round of applause because I feel like no one was really doing it anyways on socials except for like live tweeting, and you guys just did a full-on live video for the full game, which was cool as hell, I like to say.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, we were going to watch the games anyway. I might as well throw the camera on, throw the ring light on, and call it a day. Like, it's nothing different. I'm going to react the same way, even if Dom or Savannah aren't in the room. I'm going to talk to myself. So might as well throw it out there. So that was fun. It was fun streaming during the Olympics. We did a handful of games there. Yeah,
well, I will say this. I think the one game I wish I did was the Denmark game, because I probably would have cussed out Jeremy Swayman. Was like, get Chuck and Ottinger in here. Like, get this Swayman kid out of here.
Yeah, that was
and go home, please.
That was a Saturday, so I don't think we streamed that day. We just made sure that everybody got the day off, because we knew there was going to be a handful more streams that happened. So we were lucky.
Oh, for sure. All right. Let's talk some NHL here. Stars clinched a playoff spot last night as we record this on a Monday. They lost in regulation to Vegas. Are we at the we point? Like, we got the playoff. We got a playoff spot. Let's get the real thing going. You know,
you could have just put the X by their name in middle of October.
True.
We were making the playoffs.
I say December at least. Like December, just put the X there. We'll be good to go.
Yeah, I mean, you had the down stretch there at the end of December, end of January. I did a fire sacrifice in January. Once the fire sacrifice happened, you should have easily put the X down. I don't know if you saw that, but I literally burned a rally towel from the 2023 playoffs.
Okay.
In my backyard as a fire sacrifice for the Stars when they were on like a 6 or 7 game losing streak. I can't remember how long it was, but it was a bad one. And I've lit a rally towel on fire, lit a sacrifice. And since then, I think they only have 2 regulation losses now and 4 losses total, maybe, since January 20th. So I think it worked.
There we go. I sometimes you got to sacrifice something. Like sometimes I think I've been known to throw something in the Atlantic Ocean or a body of water. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work,
Yeah. I mean, I had to try something. I had to do everything I could for this team. And I think I did. So we're doing our best right now.
How would you say this season? Would you say is Glenn? What was your expectations when Glenn Gulliston got named head coach? What do you say? I just want to ask. I was looking at like you have to at least finish second or first. I'm fine with either one. You just can't go below. Be a wild card team in my book.
Yeah. So to preface this, my first year in the media, like legit in the room with professional athletes outside of like soccer, like MLS soccer, so nothing like crazy, was the Stars. So like Pete DeBoer was the first coach like I'm talking to. Or in the room with and everything. And I'm like, okay, is he always like this? Is kind of how I had to ask some people around the room. And they're like, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get the joking, loving, happy Pete, or you're going to get the pissed off Pete that's really short and giving you nothing. So that was my first experience. And then Glenn comes in and his introductory press conference, obviously the 1% more physical buy-in, all that kind of stuff. And we're going to be where you are, be where your boots are and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, all right, I like what he's saying. Let's see how it plays out on the ice. And through the first preseason game, I was like, all right, this is going to work. I don't know how long it's going to take, but it's going to work. Yeah. You could already tell that the vibe in the locker room, everything was like fun. They were playing a game, obviously, for a living. I think it wasn't a game last year. I think it was a job. And I think this year, goalie came in and he's trying to earn respect as opposed to demanding the respect. So I thought the vibes were immediately great.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have that slow start to the season. Then you start winning a little bit and it's evened out. And then January through February, obviously you're having a lot of fun. So
I say that November stretch from Florida when they only had 2 real lines and stuff. They persevered. They found ways to get points in those games. I think that was a true turning point. Like this team's not going to collapse like old Glenn Gulliston teams of like from 2011 and 2011, 12, 12, 13. Like, okay, this is a different Gulliston anyways. That's what I was going by at least.
Yeah, and he had his he took his lumps, obviously. He went through the Western like Pacific region of Canada and went to all of those teams and learned something from each of them. So I have it tattooed on my arm. It's no losses, just wins, or just wins and learning experiences. So it's like I think that's what goalie did over the last few years. And he came in and he had a mission and he had a standard and a system that he wanted to be upheld. And I think everyone probably by the beginning of March had bought into that. You can see with Maverick Bork, like he's throwing like some of the biggest hits you see every night with the Stars.
Like a human missile almost
5'9", 5'10", like he's my size, and he's trying to throw the biggest hits of the night. So I think that's a really fun team. Defense is great, goaltending is great, offense is spectacular. So I think the expectation for me going into the season, I was like, they're going to win 50 games. And they're going to be at around 100, 105 points, and they're right on pace for that. So I'm not disappointed at all.
No, I was trying to figure out my when I was doing our NHL preview of our friend of the program, Joe Malfa, who does play-by-play for MLS soccer and everything else. So he's a hockey guy. So I always want to make sure I need your thoughts on this anyways. Because I was trying to figure out, I was like, Dallas is probably going to be either like first or second. I was trying to figure out where to put it. I didn't want to sound like complete homer anyways. Like, just put them in like second place in the Central. We'll see what happens anyways.
Yeah.
What's been your expectations since the Central Division is the best division in hockey? Your thoughts on the whole division as in general, would you say? Would you expect to be this tough anyways, or this competitive, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. I thought the Stars would be at the top of the Central Division heading into the season. I just thought a full season of Mikko Rantanen is going to mean more than a full season of like Marty Necas and Brock Nelson and some other things in Colorado. Like they're deep down the middle, but their defense isn't as good as everyone thinks. Their goaltending is definitely not as good as what the Stars had heading into the season. Those were my thoughts. So I thought they were going to be ahead of Colorado. I didn't see Colorado going like 17-0-1 to start the season or whatever it was. Like, which is the same thing. It's deja vu that we saw last year with Winnipeg. They did the exact same thing last year. They started out like 14-0-1 or 15-0-1, something crazy. Avalanche did the same thing. They get out to that giant lead. The Stars start off fine, not bad, but fine. And you're playing catch up the whole season. I thought Minnesota was going to take the step, and they did. I did think Utah might be a little bit better, but nothing too crazy. I thought St. Louis was definitely going to be better. I thought Chicago was going to be a little bit better, but like
that was my breakout team to be. It's like Chicago will make the playoffs this year, anyways, and I was goddamn wrong, anyways.
Yeah, they had to sell again, but I thought the lower teams would be a little bit better. I think Utah maybe is kind of exactly where I thought they should be at 80 points right now. They're sitting pretty in that wild card 1 spot. So yeah, we all thought Minnesota, Stars, Colorado were going to be top 3. We just thought the Stars, Colorado, Minnesota would be the order. But yeah, at this point, I don't think that order's changing. I think it's going to be Stars versus Wild in round 1, and I'm completely fine with that.
That's gonna be a fun series, at least when you look at it. That's all I go by. I go by this as a viewing experience. It's like there's no Florida. Panthers won't be in the playoffs, so I get to watch the West, no problem. Anyways, the only thing I have to root against is maybe Tampa lose in the first round at least. I'll be happy. So, I look at like this, like the Dallas Minnesota game will be fun at least. It's serious. At least go 7. I'll be entertained by that. And plus, you have a lot of power in that one. Like I say, when I say power, is like you have Olympic power, star power, in both teams at least. Yeah, which is like I feel like that's good for TV ratings and also the casual hockey feel like, ooh, I'll check that out.
Right. Yeah, I think it's going to be fun regardless. There was a fun conversation, maybe it was last week before. We were sitting there at Morning Skate. So me and a bunch of the guys that are media credentialed, I'm not going to name names because they said they didn't want their takes out here, but pretty much everyone, I think it was 5 of us. We were like, this series is 5 or 6 games, Stars win it. Like there's no way they don't, which means it's going 7 and it's going to be the hardest series of all time. So I'm already booking it there.
I look at it like that's gonna go 7. I'll be enjoying. It'll be on Saturday Night Hockey for ABC. There's gonna be no other.
It's gonna be 9:45 before puck drop happens Eastern.
Probably the 8 o'clock, like 8:15, 8:20 game, 7:20 Central Time for everybody. So I look at it like, all right, gonna be staying up till midnight anyways. So that's why I just look at the Central Division. It's like I go by this rule. It's like Flyers aren't on. I was like, all right, who's playing in the Central? I can be entertained by. Like, all right, Stars are on, sweet. Avs are on if I want to watch, and maybe I'll hate watch anyways. Like everyone does now, which is a cool thing to do. Right. And I enjoy the Wild because they're just like they're that young, fun, and dumb team, but they actually have star power, which is crazy, and they have a crazy Russian too. Yeah,
Kaprizov's sick. Great goaltending. You got Faber and Boldy. They're USA Americans, right? Like they've got a fun team. I just don't think they have the same depth. And definitely not the same experience. Like they just don't make the playoffs as often, and when they do, they don't make it very far. I don't think they've made it out of the first round. So, I think it's a shame that 3 of the top 4 or 5 best teams in the NHL are going to play each other out of the playoffs before the Western Conference Finals.
I know. This will tie back to I was going to have to save this for regular season. Would you want to go back to 1 through 8? Are you at that point now that we should?
I've always been that way.
I've been that way too because I feel like we have to because it only makes sense because I feel like you have the 1 through 8 you have better matchups. I feel,
and it's not even that. I think like regular season, you're just saying that the regular season doesn't matter, is what you're telling me. At the end of the day, whereas in the NBA, the regular season does matter. Like you want that home court advantage throughout the playoffs. You got to win the most games, right? And like obviously, you're going to get the same thing if Colorado wins through all these series and goes to the Stanley Cup Finals. They have home ice, but like. They had to go through the Stars. They had to go through the Wild. They had to go through whoever. Like in round 1, like they're going to get either the Predators or the Kings. Like that's fine. Like whatever. But round 2, like Edmonton could show up or the Stars. Like it's going to be the Stars or the Wild in round 2. And then after that, it's Edmonton, Vegas. Like those aren't going to be fun teams to play against.
No.
And I look at it as like the Stars, they got shafted a couple years ago, 2024. They had to play Vegas in round 1 as the last wild card team. They won the Western Conference. They get Vegas because Vegas was coming in on like one hand, one arm, whatever it was, and then you get everyone back off of LTIR, and you're like, oh shit, this is gonna not be fun. So sometimes you get shafted like that, and sometimes you don't. But like, I feel like regular season, you're playing 82 games, it should matter and it should mean something. And I feel like the division matchups that you're forcing in round 1 and 2 for the NHL, while yes, you're getting some great, phenomenal hockey series like we saw last year with Colorado and the Stars. It's not worth it. I want that in the Western Conference Finals because I want that one to mean something. Like I want Nathan McKinnon to go home like crying instead of just being upset at his coach or upset at his lineup. I don't know what else to do. I want to see that like on the Western Conference. I want to see that mean more than what a first round matchup did. And we're never going to get that as long as Gary Bettman's in charge. And it is what it is. We can't control that guy.
I know. Don't get me started with Bettman. I've had my gripes against him for 25 years.
I don't want to lose my credential, Gary. Like, you do whatever you want.
Gary, you can take mine anyways. I've made fun of you a few times already. That's why. All right. Is it like, this is my other thing I'll say. Is there a division that blows more than the Pacific Division this year? More in history that you could think of. Like, I go back
to the NFC South every season.
I was going to go with the old Southeast Division hockey before the realignment.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I always think of the NFC South. The AFC South has had that for a number of years too.
It's been like that for forever anyways.
Right. Like, and then last year, and the last few years, you get the Texans and the Jags and the Colts and whatever, and the AFC South, so they're like fine. But the NFC South still is like ass cheeks. So I think that's the pinnacle of worst division of all time. Because like, I know the Oilers, they're not playing super well, but like, they're still the fucking Oilers. Like, I'm still terrified of them. Vegas, kind of same thing. They won last night in Dallas. Like, played a really good game. They can play really good games. They just haven't played a lot of them this year. So
exactly.
I don't know. And then Anaheim's like the clutchest team in the NHL right now. They have like a bajillion last minute goals. So
I know. Doesn't matter if it's a Leo Carlson goal or that Cutter Gauthier kid. It's like he's the hottest thing in sliced bread anyway. So
yeah, I believe him with the way he acts. I believe him.
I don't. I think he's a tool bag anyway. So that's me.
Probably, but if he thinks he's that good, he might just be. He's got me convinced.
We'll say we'll take it for that anyways. Is there a team that is there a team that could ruin it all that's not named the Edmonton Oilers? Would you say?
No.
Like not like. Do we trust Vegas? No, because I feel like that team is.
I think it's the same thing as last year, what we saw last year, because I picked Vegas in that series against Edmonton last year on Clean Sheet of Ice. So I was like so confident it was going to be 6 or 7 games. Vegas is going to win. So Oilers just looked so shaky against the Kings, and then it was 5 games.
Oilers won it. Was it 5 or 6? I
think it was 5 games, dude. Like it was a beatdown. Vegas just didn't have it, and I just don't think they play playoff style hockey for 82 games of the regular season. But when you need 3 goals, they can't get you 3 goals. I think that's what's going to kill them.
The Kings are just the Kings, anyways. That's what I go by now. Because it's like, what do we do here? And they fire a coach. Oh, that'll work, but it's like whatever. So
Pete DeBoer's gonna love LA next year.
Do you think Pete DeBoer will go there, or do you think here's my little?
Got some young guys, dude. I don't know.
Would you rather?
Who else is firing anyone?
I think Berube will get fired in Toronto.
Okay, well, yeah, he might take that. You think Carolina might open if they don't do it?
I've been
I'm floating.
The thing is, the ownership in Carolina, like they love Brandon DeBoer, anyways. They love him there.
Yeah, I think those are the 2 in the East, and then after that, Detroit to make another change.
I wouldn't be shocked if Detroit does that,
but I don't know if they're good enough for Pete.
I think it'd be entertaining. I think Pete DeBoer in Detroit will be actually entertaining. Actually,
I think it'd be great. It's just I don't know if they're good enough for Pete to want it.
I think Yzerman's been on that, has been doing his Yzer plan for about to be 7 years, about to be 8 years if they don't make the playoffs this year. And how the Pizza Boys have given Yzerman that much a leash is ridiculous. Also,
so it's a long time. So yeah, I think Toronto might be one, but maybe not. I think Carolina would be the best one for Pete. I think he could change that system up a little bit, and they'd score more. They have guys that can score; they just don't score.
Am I crazy to say the Devils?
No. I don't hate it.
He started there and he had some success there anyways. And
so I wonder what the relationship is like that with him. I don't know, because everything always ends badly with him every stop. So I just don't know how that works.
Devils,
and that's not shit, Pete. Like that's just what happens.
No, I'm not shitting on Pete. No, I just think like bad stuff happens during the end of his tenures and stuff. Doesn't matter if it's Vegas or San Jose. I didn't remember anything what bad happened there anyways.
He calls out the goalie every time. That's the problem. He has a thing against goalies.
Yeah. He's not the first coach to hate goalies anyways.
Right. And it's just, it happens not behind closed doors. That's the problem. Yeah. It just always happens when he's at a podium. And he needs to stop it.
I'm trying to figure out what I don't think he did anything wrong in San Jose. That's the one
I think that was it ended badly with the management. I think there was something there. And then he goes to Vegas. Then he has the Fleury stab in the back graphic happen.
That was funny. That was an all-time.
And
That
then
was
he
an
does
all-time
the exact
graphic
same thing
moment.
to Jake last year.
The Jake one was worse. I felt that because
That was so bad. I literally looked at Sam Nessler of DLLS, great actual journalist. I literally looked at him and stood next to him. I was like, he's gone. He's fired. Like, there's no way they bring him back. Right as he said it, he goes, "You're probably right." So, that was a tough night last year.
I was watching that. I was watching on my couch. I was like, this is gonna end bad anyways, and someone's gonna get fired. Lo and behold, it happened. And I watched the pressers like, well, he's about to get fired anyways. He doesn't care anyways.
You could feel it coming on for like 2 months too. Every press conference was just a drag.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it started getting real contentious, like maybe the beginning of April. Every press conference, whether it was morning skate practice or a game, you could just tell like he's just didn't want to talk to us. So he's either short or he's an asshole, basically. So that was kind of what we got out of Pete the last 2 months, which is a shame because I think he's a good guy and I think he's a great coach. It's just he ran his course down in Dallas. And that's it.
I feel like he has like a 3-year shelf period there, a 4-year, like any place. Like
he wears thin on everybody.
Yeah, how he did in 2 years in Florida, how he got tossed out of there is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just gonna happen. So
it was ridiculous. Who's one team in the East you're looking at if the cup? Who would you want to see? Like who matches up well if the Stars? Would you say, or somewhere in the West? Would you say?
Well, I feel like
Buffalo's
I'm never
the
gonna
wagon.
not pick the Stars. So like the Stars are gonna be in the Stanley Cup Finals for me. Like,
will it be finally?
When we're doing our round 1, round 2, round 3 previews like that, I'm gonna pick that on Clean Sheet of Ice. Like just that's what it is. I'm gonna have different reasons every time, but that's what
I like it.
I would love if the Stars game 1 wore their 99 jerseys, the new ones that they have out this year, because you're locked into the dark and the light jersey. Like you choose one of each, and that's what it is for the rest of the playoffs. I pray to God that they rock the 99s game 1, and then they're stuck with them for every home game.
Yeah.
And that Buffalo's miracle run just continues on, and we just have a night party like it's 1999.
I look at it. I look at it like that. I'll take like this is when you look at the top seeds in the East. It's like Carolina. I don't want to see.
It's going to be Tampa.
I don't want Tampa. That's the thing.
And as a Stars fan, if we made it and we got another shot at Tampa, I would take that all day long.
Oh, for sure. Like I think is I don't remember that much of that Cup final because it was just like 2020. I didn't care for a lot.
2-1 every game. It felt like it's fucking slogfest. So I would love to get revenge on Tampa, and that's the only reason. If we lost to Tampa again, I think I might like burn down whatever their Lightning Center is called in Tampa.
Don't worry, I hate the Lightning long before. Anyways, I people ask me like, oh, why do you hate Lightning? Tampa Bay. I was like, let me introduce you to the 03-04 Flyers, the best team probably my lifetime. They couldn't beat the Tampa Bay Lightning in 7 games. So,
and that 2020 Stars team was just they were good, but that was vibes. That was a vibe time with COVID.
Yeah.
They were vibed all the way through it. So I'm okay losing in that one. I would not be okay losing this one.
No. I think if you have Buffalo, it'll be good.
I think Tampa, Carolina. Is Carolina just? Are they ever going to make the hump? Like, are they ever going to get over it?
So.
And I love Carolina.
So I have a reason why I don't like Carolina. I'm from Connecticut. That was the old Hartford Whalers.
Yeah.
And the Hurricanes. Oh, we're wearing our throwback jerseys. Like those are the Hartford Whaler jerseys. That's a whole different franchise. That's like I compare it to this. It's like the Tennessee Titans bringing back their Houston Oilers jerseys and wearing it. That's why I hate the Carolina Hurricanes and stuff.
So does Carolina recognize the Hartford Whalers history, like their franchise points, the retired numbers, all that kind of stuff? Do they do that?
They do.
Okay.
I just wish it was separate, honestly.
I think that's the caveat. You gotta, as long as you recognize the previous history, you're allowed to wear those throwbacks, or you could just do what the Stars did and just give the colors back to Minnesota and just be like, we don't give a fuck. Here you go.
Yeah.
Have fun with that. We're still going to recognize the history over here because they still have those banners up. They still have the numbers and recognize the franchise records and all that kind of stuff. One of them was broke last night, so that was fun.
Yeah, which is awesome. Yeah. That's just my big thing with Carolina. I always root against.
I get it. I understand why people are angry about it.
Oh yeah, like locals up in Connecticut, they say like, oh, when they wear their Whalers jerseys, I'm a Whaler fan, and I was like, no. Stop.
Not
it
anymore.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No. And it's like I always say now, it's the Bruins have claimed Connecticut. It's like, yeah, I'm fine with that now. I don't think you're good. Like
the same thing.
Whatever. I think that the other thing is who's your favorite rookie of the year? Would you say this year?
I don't know.
I throw the Islanders kid, the Schaefer kid out.
I mean, Schaefer's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, him coming in at 18 years old and just like, here's a goal every game for the first month of the season was like unreal. Yeah, I think he's probably the most fun to watch. Like I know Celebrini's not a rookie anymore, but like Celebrini just feels like a rookie every year. He's unreal when I actually stay up to watch those games, or if they're playing on the East Coast. Love that. But yeah, I think Schaefer's he's a different breed, and he's going to be really fun to watch for a long time.
For me, Schaefer's been like, you've never said, like, I'll never say this, but I'll say it right now. The Islanders have never had a player that they've been like a franchise player that's exciting to watch. And I when I saw John Tavares play, I was like, he was all right. He was not exciting. He said everything Canadian, like, do it the right way. Like, Schaefer's actually exciting, at least.
Barzal, when he's buzzing on the ice, he's so fun to watch, but he just doesn't have what I was calling last year for when we got to the trade deadline. Before the trade deadline, I was like, here's my wish list. I was like, I want a superstar. I want a super duper star on the Stars. And then you go trade for Mikko Rantanen, and he takes over Game 7 against the Colorado Avalanche. Barzal doesn't have that.
No.
He's a fucking awesome player and everything, but like, he doesn't have the, hey, this is, I got the next 12 minutes. Don't worry about it, guys. I'll double shift. I'll do this. I got goals. I got assists. I got hits. So, yeah, I think Schaefer's going to be more of that guy for the Islanders, where he's just an absolute dog for the next 15 years.
Yeah. For me, one rookie I get excited for is that Denver Barkey kid with the Flyers, or like Alex Bump. They're young kids. They just got like Barkley got called up during December. I was like, oh, I have something to watch anyways. Like, this is one of the prospect kids like people have talked about. I was like, okay. Like,
yeah, as a Mavs fan with Cooper Flagg, it's like, if he's not playing, I just won't watch. I'm good.
Honestly, when I have the NBA League Pass for people, I always tune into Cooper Flagg anyways.
It's so fun to watch. And when he doesn't play, it's not worth it.
I tune into three people with the League Pass. It's Cooper Flagg. You may hate me for this. I like Sengun from the Rockets. I don't know why.
Oh, I hate Sengun.
I just think everyone in Miami hates him. I was like, I actually like the dude. Honestly, he's a tall white guy. Anyways, so I like watching him. Honestly, the funnier one is like whenever the Pistons are on, I'd throw.
Cade's fun to watch, dude.
Cade is fun to watch, and
Pistons are fun.
They're like people like, why do you like Cade? Like, he's a point guard. That's why.
He's the most traditional point guard we have right now in the NBA, which is fun.
Which is fun to see, anyways. And it's like, and late nights, like if I want to watch a late night, I throw the Clippers on it at least. Like,
the Clippers have been pretty fun to watch this year too. They're an interesting team at least when Kawhi's playing.
So let's get back to the NHL and stuff. What are your thoughts on USA winning the gold? Because us homers of like, it was 1980s, like no more. We could finally put that to bed. Am I right?
Yeah. It was spectacular. Obviously, it was the coolest thing ever. So. We were talking pre-show. I was a D3 swimmer. Like, I swam. I had some D1 like walk-on offers. Nothing crazy. Like, I would have just gone to a big school to be a home team swimmer and not like go on road trips. I wouldn't have been any good. Whatever. It is what it is. Michael Phelps was my guy growing up. He was my buddy's guy. Like, growing up, being a swimmer, like swimming year-round, swimming in the summer league and all that kind of stuff. High school, Michael Phelps was our god, essentially. So like every 4 years, every 3 years for the world championships and all that kind of stuff. Having the Speedo tech suit, the laser racer is what they called it, with the American flag on the chest, like spread through like every 4 years, and then obviously with world championships in between, like watching America win golds in all of these different events, and then Katie Ledecky comes on, and then you had all like the Jason Lezak come back in 2008 in the 4x100 free relay. Like, I love America sports.
Yes,
it does not matter what the sport is. I'm dialed in. Like every Olympics. Every Winter Olympics, I don't even know what I'm watching half the time in the Winter Olympics because I grew up in Alabama. I'm a Texan. Like, I don't know what snow looks like half the time. So Winter Olympics are tough for me because I don't know what's going on. But anytime there's an American flag on it, I'm dialed in.
It's party.
This hockey team was special for that reason. One, you're wearing the Miracle on Ice kind of modernized version of that throwback. Like, you're wearing those right off the rip. Jake's on the team. Love Jake Ottinger. Love talking to him. Who's one of the first players I kind of gravitated towards in the locker room last year when I first started. He kind of was just eased me into it, and I've been great since then. But shout out to Jake. Love Jake. He's on the team. And then, like, you're getting to root for guys that you don't get to root for. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. We just had the World Baseball Classic, and it didn't feel the same as the Olympics. And I think it's only because it doesn't have the Olympic rings on it. Other than that, I thought it was awesome. But, like, didn't have the same revere for Aaron Judge as an Astros fan. As I did for Quinn Hughes or whoever else was on the, like
Jack Eichel.
Like Jack Eichel, like all these guys on this team that you've hated for years, like getting to root for them. Like the Quinn Hughes overtime goal against Sweden was like, that was losing my mind on stream. And as like, I don't even like Quinn Hughes, but I love him right now. So I thought it was really fun. It was sick that It was 7 a.m. I was waking my wife up and my dog like screaming in this little microphone right here in the camera, like during the game and everything. So we just had a lot of fun running through it. We had a lot of people joining in on the streams and everything that made it a little bit more special. But anytime America's winning a gold medal, I'm dialed and I love it. And I think it's super special. And now you're going to have a bunch of people, women and men, that are going to grow up. They're going to be 5, 6, 7, 8 years old right now watching that on TV because they saw the girls win. They saw the guys win. Like they're going to want to go start playing hockey. And hockey's the sickest sport. So it's only going to make it better in the U.S. And I think that's the biggest takeaway. You had the same thing in 1980. Like American hockey jumped after that. You're gonna have a bigger jump this year, I think.
I feel too. I go back to the '96 World Cup. I don't know if people forget about that, or I love that '96 World Cup. Even though it was not the Olympics, I was like, that introduced me to hockey. It was like, oh crap, USA hockey with like Jeremy, like Rodick was not even this, but Dono, Leach, Chelios, God, the Hatcher brothers. I think Richter was in goal, Leclerc, like that got me into hockey. It was like, okay, like let's go. And I feel like this generation, like we had like, even though they lost in 2002 to Canada and it was a blowout, even though they lost in 2010 or 06, which we never say a word about anyways. It shows that like US hockey is finally like, it was moving in the right direction. I feel like this gold medal was like the pinnacle. I just hope we can just stay on top. Like it's like we're like almost like Canada, but we're cooler than that, you know?
This was hey, we can actually do it. Now let's go full force.
Yeah. Which is awesome. Anyways, I feel like we needed that motivation. Anyways, when you look at it, it's like I remember 06, they were just a disaster. It was like they didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, we have a tie. I was like, oh shoot. Anyways, like they couldn't beat anyone. It's like that, and like in 14, like they didn't even medal. And like I remember we didn't. It's like for me, I also go by this. The two Olympics we didn't care about was like 18 and 22. It was like, who cares anyways? But it's nice to have.
You don't know anyone on the team. That was the
exactly thing. Like the only person he knew was Tony Granato, who was the head coach, and he was at Wisconsin at least.
It's like watching World Juniors, which I can't watch anyway because YouTube TV doesn't carry NHL Network, so it's like it's into the ethers. But like every time I see a clip, I'm like, this is sick, love it, would like to watch it. But I don't know any of the guys. It's not going to mean as much as the guys that I've watched here for 2 years in person and for 10 plus years, you know, and watching NHL, and all these guys have been in the league for a while. So I just thought it meant a little bit more, and I think it's going to be really cool for what it does for the state of hockey in the U.S. now for the next, 25 years.
Let's hope it's not 25 years. Let's hope they win the next one anyways. That's what I go by. Let's get the next one.
Yeah, I was saying like the next 25 years, like you just take over and just win every gold medal like Canada did forever, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Be awesome. I always go back to World Juniors comments. Like I grew up and I was like in the hockey hub of Connecticut.
Yeah.
And when you know people's brothers are on the USA junior development roster teams, like, oh, I have reason to watch. Like, oh, I know that person. I know his brother or something, or I know his sister and stuff.
Yeah, so I went to school in Huntsville, Alabama, where I grew up. Like we had a AAA hockey team there.
That's awesome.
Like a sick AAA team that started like early 2000 range, and I had a bunch of kids that I went to high school with, grew up with, that played on that AAA team. And our senior year, they moved the hub to Atlanta. So like they just disappeared for like 5 months. Went to Atlanta, came back in like April right before graduation. It was pretty funny, but I didn't know that world of hockey the way I do now. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I understand what they were doing now, but I had no idea beforehand.
What's your one gripe with right now of the NHL and media? Is it the blackouts, you think?
That's like my sports gripe. Just make everything accessible, which I think the NHL has done a pretty good job of it. The blackouts are still tough. Like I live in Dallas and we have Victory Plus. Like Victory Plus is the best thing of all time because it's free. All you have to do is create an account and be roughly in the DFW area or in the Texas area, basically. Some markets of Louisiana and Oklahoma, I think Arkansas have it too. So like if you're just in the somewhere 400-mile range of Dallas, like you can watch the Stars for free, which is beautiful. But ESPN Plus, I can watch every other game and I'm not blacked out. When we get Houston, that's going to be a different story. When I move to Georgia, like that could be a different story. I don't know what I'm going to get blacked out of, but I remember I went to school at Mississippi State for 2 years, and I was blacked out for the Memphis Grizzlies, the Atlanta Hawks, the Orlando Magic, the New Orleans Pelicans, and I think the Houston Rockets as well. Like I was blacked out from all of those teams on NBA League Pass, and I'm just like, I'm in a state of Mississippi. Like Memphis, I get. I'm 3.5 hours away from there. That's fine. Yeah. I'm still 6 hours away from Atlanta, like driving. Like I can't get there. Orlando's like a bajillion years away. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Houston and Louisiana, like that's a 9-hour drive to Houston. It's a 7-hour drive to Louisiana. Like what are we talking about? So I think blackouts, I think that's one. The 1 through 8, not having the 1 through 8 playoff thing is tough. I also think they don't do a good job of marketing it. Like last year during the playoffs, like Colorado and Stars, like putting them at 852 puck drop, and that's the best series you're going to get probably all playoffs. I think that's the part that we're missing is like all of the best series are happening in the first round, which is fun, gets the excitement going. But then as you get deeper in, like you're getting worse teams the further you go. I would rather have the best of the best, which usually come out on top, like the Oilers and the Panthers last year and the year before. Like those were the best teams in those conferences at that time. Like I had no problem with it, but the matchups feel like you're going to get banged up before you even get to the Western Conference Finals if you're in the West. So
yeah,
I just wish we'd had best on best. Like we just had best on best hockey in the Olympics. Why can't we just have it in the NHL? Like we should. That's the biggest thing.
I go by that too because I was looking at it. Because I have Panther tickets, which I sell all the time. I was going by like I need the Capitals so I can at least sell my tickets because I know Carolina will not buy my tickets at least. I look at it from afar as like optics and stuff. If I was a casual hockey fan, like I'd rather watch like Capitals Panthers than watch Carolina like Panthers because it'll be like Carolina and
you got to be a sicko to watch a Carolina Florida game, and I am a sicko. I love those games.
Like I produce those games, but it's like I look at it as like the casual hockey fan in Minnesota will probably watch the Western Conference game than the Eastern Conference game, probably.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's how I view it, anyways. It's like if you have like a good market, it's like when they play the Rangers, like okay, I could sell my tickets at least. Anyways.
Sure.
Like, and at least you're gonna get on like a decent time at least.
Yeah.
So like I agree with the market. I think I've been banging the drum for that for 25 years, anyways.
You look at the success of the NFL and the NBA, though. Like, they just went full in on social media after a couple of years. They're like, okay, yeah, we get it. 2016, 2018 range. Like, yeah, we're just going all in. Social media just have free reign, basically. Go for it. Like, post anything you want. Make sure all the clips are out there. NHL and MLB, they just restrict everything. And you're just like, for why? You want less people to watch it?
Strike on your social media account. Social media. It's just it's ridiculous anyway. So,
yeah.
Would you say hockey's growing big in Texas? I compare it to this. No disrespect. When the Mavs traded Luka, would you say more people who were big time Mavs when they've swapped over the Stars? Would you say?
Yeah, as a NBA fan first, I grew up loving the NBA. That was my sport growing up. Like I was forced to the NFL, and I love the NFL, and I will die by the NFL. I'm a true born American. Like I'm going to do that. But NBA was what I gravitated as a kid, and always been an NBA guy. And then Luka comes along. He's the next Dirk, basically. He's going to be here for 20 years. He's going to win one title, and I'm completely fine with that. That's exactly what I want. I want to do it again.
Yeah.
When he got traded, I immediately said some crazy things on our Apollo NBA show. It was the first course of business. The next course of business, the next month and a half or so, was like, hey, Mavs fans, like, I know everyone's fucking pissed right now, but just go over to the Stars and watch like an organization that knows what they're doing, that is run completely well from top to bottom and doesn't have any of this crap going on. So I started banging that drum. But then the other day, Brandon Walker from Barstool put out a tweet about the top 2 teams in a city. Yes. NHL is how many teams or how many cities have the NHL as their second favorite team, because most of them have NFL teams, right?
Yeah.
I was like, Dallas is sneaky in this conversation at this point. MFFLs for Mavs fans for life or whatever, they are some of the best fans in the league. And like, I have a lot of people that tell me that outside of it, they're like, Dallas might be one of the top 5 like arena atmospheres as a fan when they're popping. Like that is top 5 for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously right now you're not going to be top five because you don't have Luka anymore. You just traded him. Like if you had Luka, this isn't a conversation, but I think the Stars they're in that conversation. Whenever I go into a restaurant, I got Stars gear on, a hat or a shirt or whatever, bar, whatever. Everyone that works there, or some people will walk up like, oh, did you watch the game last night? I was like, well, yeah, I was there. I was in the press box, but not everyone knows me, and I'm completely fine with that. I don't want it to be that way. But yeah, I think the Stars buzz is very palpable right now here in Dallas. I live directly in Dallas too, so I don't know what's going on in the outskirts in the DFW area because I choose not to go out there because I don't have to. I can do everything I want inside of Dallas. I'm not going to leave Dallas unless I have to. So inside of Dallas, yeah, I think the buzz is great. They sell out every game. That doesn't mean anything, but the crowd's been pretty spectacular the last month too. They're ready for playoff hockey, and I think come middle of April, it's going to be even crazier.
I feel like I saw that Brandon Walker question. Was like, I thought of 2 cities already. Tampa is one.
Yeah,
for sure. Bucks, Lightning,
Yep.
And I was trying to figure out who else. I was trying to figure out who
It's
else.
Vegas right now, and even when they get the Athletics, when they get an NBA team, I think it'll still be Vegas.
I think Vegas is a true hockey
and
team.
They might be one in Vegas.
They are one. Then it's the Raiders. And I may throw up the Aces up there just to F the Raiders.
They do love their Aces. I'm not going to discredit them. Is Minnesota in this conversation?
Yes.
The Twins are ass.
Yes, I've talked to someone who's from Minnesota.
Okay.
It's Vikings no matter what, then the Wild, then the Timberwolves, then the Twins.
Okay.
That makes sense. That's what I have been told by people I know anyways.
That checks out. Nashville only has 2 teams. You can't throw them in there. St. Louis doesn't have any teams.
I throw the college baseball team of Vanderbilt in there just for kicks and giggles anyways.
My boys just swept them this weekend, so I had pretty good.
I know.
Mississippi State.
I do watch some college baseball. I like to say that for sure. It's mostly the Miami Hurricanes when I can.
Yeah, no, I think college baseball, for people that are listening to this and have any interest, is the most authentic college experience you can get for sports right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And it has been forever. It's just no one wanted to watch it. And now it's getting a little bit more covered. You can watch every game on ESPN Plus. I think it's great what ESPN Plus has done. While it's annoying with the subscription and you got to get 42 different extensions to it and everything. Yeah. I'm going to do it because it's our job. But like, I love college baseball and I think it's always been that great. I just am biased because my school has the top 25 attendance records. All 25 of them are now belong to Mississippi State. They just did that this weekend. So
shout out to Rafael Palmeiro back in the day.
Yeah, what a dog. He's got a statue out front. Don't worry about him.
No, don't worry. I think you go back to that. I think trying to figure out LA's not in that top 5 at all. It's a Dodger Laker town.
Yeah. The thing is, you got to have 3 sports minimum. So like Tampa's, I agree with Tampa. It's Carolina's and Raleigh, so like doesn't even count.
No, it does not count. Carolina does not count. No.
Pittsburgh sneaky. I know they love their Pirates.
No,
Pirates haven't won shit.
It's Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates.
Yeah, I think they're there for now. And then once the Pirates maybe put together a roster for Paul Skeens, different conversation.
Or when Paul Skeens leaves, anyway. Or Paul Skeens, it's still going to be third anyways.
Right.
Yeah. I usually throw Pitt Athletics third anyways over. And
I think Detroit, you can I don't know if you have a conversation about that one. I think right now it's
Jake Raper might kill me. I like to have him in those conversations whenever I mention Detroit sports anyway. Shout out to Jake Raper. So
yeah.
Shout out to Jake. New Jersey, no.
In Washington, DC.
That's a football town. I know that.
I mean, it's Commanders and then Capitals, right? They don't care about the Nats.
God.
They cared about the Nats in 2019.
Yeah, they cared about them then.
But they cared a lot more about Ovi in 2018, is what I'm saying.
When I think of Washington sports, I always think of the Redskins always, because NFC East for me.
Yeah.
It's always Redskins and Caps. But when the Washington was bad, I think Ted Leonis was trying to talk more hockey. He said it to one radio guy in DC. He's like, I can't. Washington is a football town through and through anyways.
They are, but they're second. So they're in that.
Yeah. I think Caps are second, and it's
Nats,
Nationals
Wizards.
Third. Yeah, Wizards fourth. Anyways,
they're
Wizards
so bad, dude.
They're such a joke. I think when Bill Simmons said like, "Who's the most irrelevant franchise of all time?" He's the Columbus. Like, no, it's the Washington Wizards. Anyways, come on.
Yeah, the Jackets they swept the Tampa 2019 or whatever it was. Yeah. That's the most relevant upset in the last decade.
Yeah,
roughly.
Yeah, you could also say whenever UMCB they beat Virginia in the
tournament. I guess I hate college basketball. That's another take I have. So
I grew up in college. I rather go to a college basketball game half the time than NBA.
Yeah, I can't stand but I grew up an NBA kid, so that's what I watch. And then you throw on outside of JJ Redick as a 9-year-old or 10-year-old or whatever I was, I didn't care. It's there's a white kid that can ball out. I could do this too. I just didn't grow up to be 6'3" and shoot that well.
Sure. I'm trying to figure out other markets. Missouri.
Does Missouri as a whole count? That's a state. If we're going city, St. Louis.
I was going to St. Louis because
Kansas City doesn't have enough teams.
Kansas City only has 2 teams. St. Louis only has
2 teams, right? The
Blues, Cardinals, Cards. MLS. You forget about all the time.
Yeah. People forget about the XFL, the St. Louis Battlehawks.
Yes.
Shout out to Nick Fitzgerald, Mississippi State legend, played for the Battlehawks.
God, that's a toss-up. You should actually ask Brendan Walker that actually.
And I don't think you can count Florida because the Panthers really aren't in Miami.
No,
they're in Sunrise. It's a little too far north.
It's Broward's team. That's the thing. It's
like little... if they were in Fort Lauderdale region, I could accept it because I'm where my family has a place. Like we're right in between like South Beach and Fort Lauderdale. It's like the perfect mix. If they were in Fort Lauderdale, but that counts. You can count that. It's like Dallas with Arlington. Yeah, you can count that.
It just to me, I kind of count it anyways because I look at it as it is, but it isn't. But it's like also when you think of the '90s expansions, that's like that was the fourth team when you look at it because it was like Dolphins were first, then the Heat came, then
Marlins,
the Marlins,
late '90s,
Marlins in '93. Then the Panthers came in '93. So it's like the Marlins,
and they don't recognize Miami; they recognize Florida. That's the other issue.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like I'll say this: most locals don't down here. They care about the Canes more than like the Dolphins, anyways. So
no, 100%. As a Dolphins fan, and my family has season tickets. Yes, I understand.
Yes. So I always have to people are outside the area like, really? It's like, yeah, trust me, for real, for sure on that. All right, let's do a fun rapid fire. We always do over our first time guest. All right. Favorite non-hockey player that played for you that's not on your favorite team, by the way.
Non-hockey player not on my favorite team.
Yeah, favorite hockey player that's not on your favorite team.
Hockey player that's not on my favorite team. It's got to be Ovi.
Okay. Like for me,
I was always an Ovi over Sid guy growing up.
Okay. I was,
and it was only because he was Russian. That was literally the only reason he had any wore a cool visor. That's it.
Oh, for sure. Favorite goaltender of all time.
Jake Ottinger.
Okay. Better
close personal friend.
Friend of the program one day, USA.
Yeah, we'll get him on
USA hockey goalie. Favorite storyline you've seen in the dressing room you've heard about?
Robert Tiffin, who runs his own thing called Stars Thoughts. He's a sick Dallas Stars reporter, goes up to Substack. He went around asking everyone what their coffee habits were. To all the players. And it was very funny watching Maverick Bork react to Sam Steele doing like his own coffee every morning, making his own coffee and not going to a coffee shop. I think that was my favorite part.
That is hilarious.
Yeah. They josh around in that locker room a lot. It's fun.
Who's in the locker room? Who's the biggest prankster? Who controls the Federalists? Who controls the music in this locker room actually for the Stars?
So I asked Dutchie this, Matt Duchesne, because I was like, who plays the music after the games? Because it's always country music. It's always country music. And it's always like mainstream country music where I'm listening to it. I did not grow up listening to country music. I asked Dutchie. I think it was Sagan. And now that Sagan's hurt, I think it's a mix of people. It's they all kind of have the same taste outside of the Finns. So yeah, it's kind of a mix, but Dutchie can get in there. I think Casey DeSmith gets in there a handful of times. Like it's kind of a mix of who grabs the aux post game.
That is people always wonder who controls the aux. Is the game player of the game or whatever?
Yeah, so it's a mix.
Okay, white jerseys at home or dark jerseys at home?
Dark jerseys. Give me the 99 like every game. I don't care.
Okay. What's your favorite throwback logo right now?
Throwback logo. I mean, it's hard not to go with the shoulder patch of the Dallas Stars 99 jerseys. That state of Texas. I love that one too, but the state of Texas with the D and the star on the part of Dallas, I just love that logo. I'm a sucker for it. I got a hat of that.
That's a good one. If you could see anyone take over the NHL uniforms brand wise, it's Curly Fanatics. Who would you rather see take it over the contract?
Sneaky. Kind of just put Adidas back in charge.
Really?
I don't trust Nike anymore after seeing the baseball jerseys. And
that was the funniest GIF of all time, anyways. So
yeah, those were tough. So and the fact that I'm having to pay $200 for a jersey that has no stitches on it anymore for Nike, I want no part of that. I think Adidas, like you're paying $225 and everything was stitched and premium, and you get the fighting strap and all that kind of stuff. I think you just run. I thought the jerseys were good. I think the Fanatics ones are actually pretty good too. I'm not gonna lie. I have the new 99 jersey that I got this year. It's not the like full on authentic one, but the one that's got the fighting strap and everything in there. I think it's a pretty solid jersey. I think it's pretty comparable to what the Adidas ones have. I do kind of miss the dots on the Adidas shoulders.
That was the one thing I missed.
That's cool.
It looked like a real hockey jersey.
It's kind of cool.
Had some tech into it.
Yeah.
Who's on your aux cord right now anyways?
Who am I playing right now?
Yeah, who are you playing right now?
A little bit of Luke Combs. He just had something new come out literally on Friday. New album. Harry Styles, his new album a couple weeks ago, and then a lot of the Allman Brothers Band. Getting into some of their live albums, live at the Fillmore, like 1971 or whatever it was, 72. Yeah, a lot of Allman Brothers bands recently.
There we go. Should Freebird be the official goal song for every home runs, any goal for soccer or in hockey now?
Everything for hockey. I am in the camp of putting the MLB All-Star break during 4th of July and having the home run derby on 4th of July and ending it with fireworks.
Okay.
I think you could play Freebird the entire time then. So like every time WBC happens now and you hit a home run, you got to play Freebird. I think you got to do that or a walk-off. Yep. I think every goal that's ever scored for USA Hockey till the end of time has to play Freebird. I think every time any American sets a record in any Olympic or World Championship event, you got to play Freebird instead of the anthem. Just do it.
All right. This is the one thing we've always had on Panthers Radio off-air show usually.
Yeah.
Mount Rushmore of USA Hockey players, since Patrick Kane is now the king of all points right now. Who was yours, by the way? Because I'll give you mine. We said Kane, Madonna, Chelios. The fourth one I threw is Jeremy Roenick, and the fifth one we have 5 because we can and we want to. I throw in Brian Leach anyways.
Yeah, I think the first 4 are correct. I don't think you can change them.
Okay. Who's your 5th?
I don't know. Give me Eddie Belfour. Just throw another
American in there. He's Canadian, though.
He's Canadian. No. Can you throw it? It'd be funny. Not going to do it. I thought about it. Matthew Tkachuk, can we just throw him in there just for shits and gigs?
We can throw in there. We can do it.
I mean, 2-time Stanley Cup champ, now an Olympic gold medalist, kind of the vibes guy, always wearing a letter too. I don't know.
Are you mad? Are you shocked he has a podcast? He's a podcast host now. By the way, trying to get.
I'm not. I don't watch it. I don't listen to it because I don't really like player podcasts. I like the clips of player podcasts. So on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, if it shows up, I'm watching it and I enjoy it. I will not go listen to a full hour long of players talking about it. Just won't.
Me as well. I'm a clip guy at least. All right, Stone. Where can everyone follow you? Because I got to say, you were entertaining. I'll say this: you probably won't get the call back for playoff hockey, anyways.
No, you can just let me know when you want me back on. I'll probably be available. I'm heading down to the South. I'm going to the Masters in a few weeks here, so it's gonna be pretty. I'm going for a practice round. Nothing huge, but first time, so I'm excited. But you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, everywhere at Apollo Stoney. Apollo Media's Apollo HOU, pretty much everywhere. Into movies, pop culture, that kind of stuff on TikTok. We got at Watch with Apollo. Play a lot of stuff on there on TikTok, a lot of games, a lot of fun stuff if you're into movies. Obviously, you have Clean Sheet of Ice, at Clean Sheet of Ice on every social media platform, on YouTube, everything for Texas hockey related stuff. At the Apollo NBA show, everywhere for NBA stuff. At Play Action Takes for all the NFL stuff. But it's almost baseball season, so I'm kind of I'm in that mood for college baseball right now, but we got opening day this week, so I'm trying to make sure that all of my mind is kind of divvied up into different things right now. Obviously, with the NBA playoff coming, the NHL playoff coming, NFL draft coming, and then MLB opening day. My brain is a little stir-fried right now, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm all over the place on my timeline, but mainly Star stuff, mainly Mississippi State stuff on my timeline. But I got a little bit of everything.
That is awesome. We'll definitely have you on. Stone, you're now recurring guest of the Upper Bowl podcast.
I'll be back.
Hell yeah.